Good morning, good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Cecil Young, coming to you live and in color from Soundview Media here in Stratford, Connecticut. Now, I've been coming to you here for the last 3 years, highlighting my civil rights being violated by city and state officials. Today, I'm likewise going to add a little more to the agenda, as well as what I did last week, add a little something about the lady's house being foreclosed on. I plan to get back with that subject as well, but I'm a little aggravated over the fact that the Judicial Commission Committee, I have my stepson, I was married twice, okay? I have four stepsons, okay? One of my stepsons was old child support, and I went to get him out of jail. It cost me $500 bond to get him out of jail on the bond, okay? Now, I went to the court the other day to try to receive my $500 bond, all right? And they told me that that is it. They took my $500 bond and put it towards his child support. Now, I say that is a shame and a disgrace that the state of Connecticut, this Judiciary Committee, is beginning to act like ISIS, I believe. Because only ISIS would do something like that, I guess, okay, that would basically step out of their boundaries and just go exercise their super rights over and above the people's rights of the state of Connecticut without being law. I'm sure there's no law that gave the Human Rights Commission, gave the court permission to take a person's bond money and put it towards their child support. Now, he is not my child. He's my stepchild. He's 40 years old. Okay, in the past, whenever he did not comply to the court in terms of paying his child support, they locked him up, as they should have. They should have made him responsible for that bond money, that instead of taking my bond money and putting it towards his child support. I take great offense to that, and I hope that everyone else who sees this show would feel the same way and would contact their state senator or the state rep and the governor as well and the chief judge and say to them, how could this happen in America? Why are we beginning to act like we are becoming like ISIS has become to other people around the country, over and above, exercising authority that they was not given? I'm sure there's no law in the book that gave them permission to take bondsmen's money and to take it and put it towards someone else's child support. Now, he made that baby. That is his responsibility to take care of that baby. Now, as far as I'm concerned, okay, I am a disabled person, okay? I've been disabled since 2006, okay, physically, psychologically, and otherwise. And it troubles me, okay, that this young man, Curtis, okay, who's a young man who never really been involved in crime, who has a little alcoholic problem from time to time, okay, but he is a good person. He never got involved in drugs. He never got involved in crime, okay, but he had a problem with his job, okay, where he lost it, and now he's out there trying to make the best he can, as much as he can. In the meanwhile, he was staying in my house, all right, and as he was staying in my house, I was giving $100 a month towards child support on his behalf to try to keep him out of jail, all right, and from time to time, whether he was complying or not, they would still find himself locking him up if need be, if they choose to want to do, and I had no problem with that as well. Do that in order to get him to pay his child support. Do that in order to help him get a job. What troubles me is that I've noticed he have tried to get jobs at a number of places, but because of his record, okay, and because of what he's been charged with, okay, they find it hard to want to give him a job, or whatever it may be the case. My point is this: regardless of what, he made the baby. He's responsible for that baby. Do not take my bond money, all right, that was put up there truly under the impression that I would get my bond money back. Okay, as I did before one time, when his bond was $350. I got that back. Now, all of a sudden now, the rules have changed, but now you're going to take my bond money and put it towards his child support? No, lock him back up again. He is the one who was responsible for that child. Just think about those 15-year-olds, those 14-year-olds that will get on the phone, okay, that have had babies and have gotten 16 years old, and now they're locked up for child support. And they're calling their grandmama, calling their mama, okay, my mom, get me out of jail. I'm sorry that I got that girl pregnant, blah, blah, blah. But these kids who have limited skills, limited ability to survive, limited ability to get a job, okay, going to find it hard, like this kid here is finding it hard because of his past and because of what he only has working for him. Okay, and to find me and that grandmother or someone else, a senior citizen, being told because your son is pleading to get them out of jail, and you get them out of jail on bond, expecting to get your bond money back, and to have the state of Connecticut take that $500 and put it towards his child support, I say no. I want to know what law gave them the power, okay, to take my money and to give it to child support for what he did. He's responsible for that child. Okay, and what troubles me is that he complied with the probation. Whenever they told him to go to a program, whenever they told him to go to probation, he complied. He did all the above. And now for the state of Connecticut to stoop that low, to take my $500 that I work for as a senior citizen. I'm disabled, okay? I am disabled. I'm a disabled senior citizen. Okay, I'm 75 years old. Okay, I am disabled. I need Curtis to help me continue to do the work that need to be done at my house. And to take and to take I need Curtis to help me continue to do the work that I need done at my house. And to take him, okay, and to lock him up, okay, knowing that I was trying to help him stay out of jail by getting him out on my bond with my money, and to take my money and to charge me, okay, and to tell me, okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Young, that's your loss. What do you mean it's my loss? I put up a bond money not to pay for his child support, and to tell me that I say it's a shame and a disgrace. What are we coming in America? Why are we trying to act like ISIS acted like they act around the country, treating people like they don't have the rights to deserve the kind of due process that people like I deserve? Due process. Don't take my money and tell me forget about it, shame on me. So I'm saying to the governor, I'm saying to the chief judge, I'm saying to whomever may see this show, hear this show, please cover this story, cover this program, okay, to help me get my $500 back. I got bills to pay. I'm 75 years old. I haven't worked in 20 years. 20 years I have not worked, okay? And I'm pleading with the state of Connecticut, the city of Bridgeport. Let Curtis go, okay? If you need to lock him up, okay? Give him his punishment. But don't take my money. I need Curtis, okay? You see me. I was attacked. I have a serious back problem. I have a serious back problem. I can't walk. I can't move. I can't do too much physically at all. And as my stepson, who happened to be 40 years old, because he fell behind in his payments with child support, you're going to take me and take my money? His wife is a correctional guard. She makes good money. His wife, who married another wife, is making good money. So it ain't like they starving. It ain't that the state of Connecticut is starving. Don't take and use my money to so-called put me in a situation where I got to not have to be behind my bills, behind what you did to him. It is wrong to do that to me like that. Okay? You see here, I said to y'all, I'm disabled. I am a disabled person. 20 years ago, 19 years ago, almost 20 years, March 16th will be 20 years that I've been totally disabled. Totally disabled by 4 different doctors. All right? I need Curtis to help me continue to do what I need to do at my house. I'm not able to do what I've been able to do. And to lock him up for what? He went to your program when it came to probation. He went to your program when it came to doing whatever he had to do. So why would you turn around here and take my money? Take my $500 and tell me to forget about it. Don't worry about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. What do you mean ain't nothing I can do about it? You stuck me up. You didn't have no right to take my money. I put the money up as a bond. As a bond. This was a bond I put up. $500. Cecil Young for Curtis Johnson. A bond. I went to the Bridgeport Correctional Center and gave them $500. They did not tell me, Cecil, your $500 is going to go towards paying for his child support. If they would have told me that, I wouldn't have given them that money. Shame on the state of Connecticut to stoop to that level. Shame on you. And as I said before, I didn't mean to come here to talk about that today. I came here to finish up what I've been talking about, which is to show you the overwhelming evidence that I've told you that the Human Rights is investigating pertaining to my civil rights being violated by Dr. Evans and other city and state officials. I also have an audio tape that I will be playing with Dr. Evans and Jody Paul to confirm the fact that both of them was fully aware of the fact that I was at work, and they knew that I was at work, so they gave me permission to come to work. So I'm going to play parts of an audio tape, which is on the shows that I've done in the past. You got over 35 to 40 shows that I've done in the past, and you can download each one of those shows on Soundview Media or YouTube 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. In each one of those shows, you will hear me say the same thing. You will hear me not miss a beat pertaining to those of them that violated my civil rights. And again, I say to you, I have it on audio tape. I played it in the past, and I'm going to play it again today. And I want you to please take your time to hear what I've got to say and what they're saying. You will hear Dr. Evans confirm the fact that I'm being allowed to come to work on March 16, 2006. You will hear confirm that fact. All right? I will now play the tape of Dr. Evans, and you can likewise get the quotes of here. Dr. Evans is on the phone now talking with someone else. She'll be off the phone in a minute or two, which you will hear her likewise reflect on what I have now posted up here on the screen. She will be coming on you in within a second or two. And you heard Dr. Evans confirm the fact that she's accepting me back to work. Now that was me confirming that with Dr. Evans' supervisor, Ether. Now I'm going to play a Jody Paul remark, okay, which you will hear Jody Paul, okay, in a meeting with Albert Murphy, Gerald Wayner, Mike Cohead, myself, and my wife at the time, Patricia Young. Okay, you will hear all the above, okay, indicate, okay, what had inspired, she will likewise confirm the fact that I was at work by saying what she said. Well, you know, I'm not going to proceed on showing any more video. I think that showed enough. And like I said, to anyone who sees this show, please do me a favor. Will you download YouTube Soundview Media and look at the different shows over the last three years that I've been doing this show? I've been highlighting the show and been giving you evidence, overwhelming evidence in black and white, showing you that these folks have violated the public trust and they should not be allowed to get away with it. So I'm pleading with John Doe, whomever it may be, okay, please, someone help me get this matter investigated, whether it be a grand jury, whether it be whomever, someone. And also, too, I need an attorney. I will pay for an attorney that will be willing to pursue this matter on my behalf. Okay, I own my own home. Okay, I will take out a second mortgage, okay, if need be, to pay you whatever you were willing to charge me to make sure I get back in court, because my attorney, John Williams, did not properly represent me. I gave him $10,000. You know what's so sad about it? Okay, in the beginning I gave him $5,000. He took it to Superior Court on Main Street in Bridgeport, but he never showed up in court, not one time. It really troubled me because Judge Richard, okay, who happened to be a black judge, it's not that it's black or white should be the matter, but it irritates me over the fact that if Judge Richard would have looked at the file, she would have seen what I've just shown you here today. That the time card shows that I did come to work. And for her to go along with what the assistant city attorney told her, that even if she wanted to overturn my case and rule in my favor, that she could not make a difference because of the labor board making their decision. Well, you're right to a degree. The labor board is supposed to be fair and impartial. They're supposed to be like a judge. And what hurts me is that the labor board, I will show you and have shown you, and when you go to the videos and you look at the shows, you will see that Gerald Weiner, Mike Coe had committed fraud. They committed fraud. I have overwhelming evidence that they committed fraud. And I say to you, Cecil Young, I own my own home. I don't got no money. I'm living off my Social Security, my little pension. And I'm saying to them, sue me. My house is paid for, Gerald Weiner. Mike Coe has sued me. Okay? Albert Murphy, sue me. You lied on my doctor by calling my doctor's note literally strips of paper. How dare you? A labor board commissioner would sit there and lie on the public, okay, and give the impression that my doctor's note was literally scraps of paper. That was an outright lie. How dare the labor board commissioner, okay, who's supposed to be fair and impartial, would sit there and literally do that to someone who they're supposed to be looking out for? And the reason why they did it was because they got paid. They got paid. They committed fraud. And I said they committed fraud, and I proved that. I proved it, and I said, you go to the website, you will see where Albert Murphy, Gerald Weiner, okay, they all got paid. And for Albert Murphy to say that my Dr. Walter showed up with literally strips of, that I showed up with strips of paper, these are not strips of paper, these are full doctor's notes. One was faxed over to them, okay? And for him to say, labor board commissioner, chairman, say that my doctor's note was literally scraps of paper and that my doctor's signature was unillegible, well, this is Dr. Walter's signature. This is the way he writes. See, Luke, that's the way he writes. He had his nurse write it in the beginning, but that wasn't good enough. You want to know what I was being treated for? Extreme anxiety. She told you what I was being treated for. Why would you have to question my doctor's ability? He sent you a letter saying that he'd been treating me for several years. But yet and still, the chairman says Dr. Waters was not doing such thing. It says here in black and white that Dr. Waters had been seeing me for several years and had decided to refer me to Dr. Wainick, who was a clinical psychiatrist, who had more intelligence, more ability to help me with the problem I was going through. And he began to help me. So for 19 and a half years, for almost 20 years, I've been seeing Dr. Wainick, who had me prescribe Xanax and other types of medication to control my temper, to control my emotions, to allow me to get a little bit of sleep from time to time. I can't sleep. I can't sleep because I'm aggravated over the fact of what I lost. I lost a wife over 30 years. Her name was Patricia Nichols. Okay, she became Patricia Young. Okay, she passed away because of what? Smoking herself to death, trying to help me get the justice I've been denied. And you say, let it go? Why can't I let it go? No, this woman stood with me, stood by her man, helped me through up days and bad days, stood and wrote letters to everybody under the sun, Senator Blumenthal, Governor Lamont, Governor Rowland, all of the above, and saying to them, look into my case, look into my husband's case. That's all he wants you to do. No, but she ended up smoking herself to a point where she ended up having a massive heart attack or whatever at the same time. When I found out she wasn't picking up the phone and went in there and seen her laying across the bed with her hands folded up like she was ready to be cold home to the Lord, and she went in a peaceful fashion. But it troubled me that Lord knows that she would be here if she wasn't struggling with writing letters for 19 years about what you did to me. You stressed her out. You burnt her out. And then you have the audacity to want to know why am I continuing this battle? Huh? I paid for this show. For 3 years, I paid for this show. I paid for the producer of this show. Yet and still, I got a brother in front of my house, down the street from my house, a black man, in a red car that's been there for years watching me. Huh? A white man in another car, in a black car, watching me for 12 years or more. Huh? Wanting to know, should they take me out yet? Not, I don't know. But they're watching me in my house. There's only 4 houses on my block, but they watch my house around the clock. Why? To intimidate me to shut up. I can't shut up. I lost a beautiful woman who fought for our people for 30 years. The letters, the stories that I told you, the articles that I were written, she wrote those articles. She wrote those stories to help me help our people. And I feel shame on the fact that I know that she would be here today if I would have just let this go. But how do you let go of somebody violating your civil rights? How do you let go after 27 years of working for what you believe in and to have somebody just take it from you and totally disregard you as is nothing? No, I couldn't do that. I promised God and I promised my mama that I would prove her my worthiness because I wasn't the brightest student in the classroom, huh? And that's why people say, Cecil, why do you tell a story about you not being able to read and write that well? Because I can't read and write that well. I am a semi-illiterate to a degree because I was never really sought down and taught and found out what it will take you to comprehend what we're trying to teach you. Instead, they put me in a closet. They put me in the coat room. They put me in the principal's office and told me I would not talk in class 100 times. And never once did they ever look at that paper that they told me to write 100 times. Never once did they ever look at that paper. Why? Because they've written me off as if I was nobody. They ripped me off like they've written off for many of our kids in our neighborhoods who come from homes where the mothers and fathers are caught up with things that they can't deal with, that they don't understand. And then you wonder why these kids act out the way they act out when they got the movies they watch, when they got the shows that they see, when they look at and see the other people around them and look like they got it going on, when all they're doing is just being set up to be taken out sooner or later, because once they follow their footsteps, you know where they're going, to jail or hell or heaven, one of the two or three. It don't have to be that way. I should not have to be treated like I'm being treated, like a foreigner. You got a nerve that they want to take my money, take my hard-earned money, because this boy had a baby. How many kids that got babies that are in jail? How many kids that owe child support? That their mama, their grandmama's going to put up a bond for them, and you're going to tell that grandmama, I'm going to take your money that you got saved up for your light bill, or for your gas bill, or for your electricity bill. I'm going to take that money because your son had a baby by Baby and Susu and Doo-Doo, and now I'm going to take your money. So what? He going to never get out of jail again because he'll never get my money to get out of jail again. So what does that mean? The state of Connecticut got to support him for what? Another 30 days, another 60 days, another year, because he'll never get another dollar from me pertaining to child support, bail bond? No. And why? They deserve a second chance to prove their innocence. They deserve a second chance, to get a chance to start over again. Don't take it out on their parents or their grandparents. That wasn't my son. That was my stepson. I got 4 stepsons. I got married twice. The first wife, like I said, 30 years, she committed with me. That's her son. So I have a right to want to get him out of jail because he's not a bad kid. He just had a problem with a baby and had a baby that he just couldn't maintain because he lost his job because of drinking, because of what his wife got involved with another wife and got married and all the above. So whatever the reason why he lost control and lost his balance, but whatever it may be, don't blame me for what he had. Are you going to blame me for my other 3 kids have babies and they don't pay their child support if I put them up for bond? Come on, y'all. This is America, not South Africa. You're beginning to act like ISIS. Come on, judicial. You say you got a black judge. Well, let this black judge look at what you did to me. It's bad enough that they took my regular case, that I've been dealing with my civil rights being violated by the Human Rights Commission. It's been 3 months or more now going on. The Human Rights Commission has taken my complaints against Governor Lamont, pertaining to him not responding to the complaints that I filed against Albert Murphy, Gerald Weiner, for committing fraud. I say Gerald Weiner, Albert Murphy, they violated my civil rights. I got it in black and white. And you want to run for governor again? Well, somebody need to tell me, what are you going to do about the complaints that I filed? What are you going to do with the Human Rights Commission when they ask you to produce the evidence as to why you didn't respond to Cecil Young when he made these complaints? And I want to thank Councilman Newton, Councilman Anita, and also State Rep Andre Baker for requesting that the state look into my allegations of my civil rights being violated. I tried to get a hold of Senator Gaston. I contacted him several times. Can't get a hold of him. Why? Because the mayor gave him a job? Because the mayor put him in a position to run for state senate? Now what he will do is duck and hide instead of confront me about me asking him to look into what they did to me? What they did to me? All I asked him to do was to look into what they did to me and see if he could help me out. Help me out. A brother that's been proven by the U.S. federal court, proven that I'm disabled, that I'm a sick man. Wasn't always this way. I said I had back problem before, but it wasn't as bad as what it is now until I got attacked. Why did I get attacked? Because of me doing what? Exercising my First Amendment right. And what did it cost me, 3 years of not being able to speak at City Hall. For 3 years, I respected that and honored that, but I didn't agree with it. But even though I honored it, because I said I'm not going to get put in jail for trying to do something that I know is right, because it wasn't the time for me to be caught up in jail because I was going through too much. My wife was too sick. There was too many other pressures on my mind to have to deal with going to jail and trying to deal with what she was going through with oxygen tanks, not being able to breathe, not being able to move around like she used to do. All of that was because of me having her help me, help you, and my people help themselves. And then you treat me like I ain't nobody. And you think, God, this is so-called Black History Month. Yes, this may be the month that I will finally throw my towel in. As my attorney, John Williams, threw the towel in on me, unbeknown to me, he threw the towel in under me. And he knows good and well that I kept telling him, John Williams, and you will see it on the website. I promised him, John Williams, please show up in court. They're going to throw my case out of court. John, show up in court. He would not comply. He never showed up in court, not one time.
I gave him another $5,000. I filed it to the appellate court. The appellate court, I found out, sent it back to Judge Richard. Well, where's my other $5,000, John Williams? No, instead he told me the appellate court threw it out. When the appellate court threw it back to Bridgeport local court, I understand now. Okay, John Williams is a crook. He's a thug. He robbed me. He slammed me. He scammed me. Why don't he sue me if I'm telling the truth? Then they take me down to this kangaroo court because I sued John Williams, took him down to the courthouse on Golden Hill Street for what he did. And I got into the courthouse. The referee asked us, can you settle it between yourself? We went out to the hallway. I said, we can't settle it, Your Honor. And next thing you know, he started asking my wife 1,000 questions. I'm saying, Your Honor, my wife is not answering them questions. She's sick. So he got upset with me. Next thing I know, the case is over. So John Williams walked away free, $10,000. And no record in the court can show what happened in the court because we got a court down in Bridgeport on Golden Hill Street. They say, well, whatever goes on there, that's it. There's no court for taking reports of what is being said, what not being said. That is it. So that's how they got me. They scammed me again by going to a kangaroo setup. Well, because this referee did not like me, thought of me telling them, how dare you question my wife, all them questions. I'm the victim. He's the victim. Let's deal with me and him. John Williams, Attorney John Williams from New Haven. He scammed me. He violated my rights as well. And I'm saying to the public and to John Doe, okay, after this month, maybe I may just go away and just sell my home. If they don't sue me, I may just sell my home and move away. But right now, I'm not moving away. But I want you to know that if I don't leave, and if they do kill me, as I know they plan and I don't want to, okay, look for a red car with a black brother sitting in it on Carroll Avenue, Cross Street, Milner. All right, he sits down on the end of the street on the left side, and there's another white brother that sits on the right side in a black car. Now, you can ride down those streets, and you will find them both sitting in their cars from time to time for hours at a time. They don't live there. They have no reason to want to be there. There's a company on the left, and there's a house on the right, and you go into that house on the right to the front. But they're there every night, 7 days a week. There was one guy who watched me for almost 14 years. Come on, y'all. I'm not going to shut up. And I'm sorry, and I know that you don't want to kill me because there's no reason to want to kill for somebody who's fighting for their rights. Because there go the grace of God could be you too. And all I want is liberty and justice to be honored and respected. You found out in black and white that I am disabled. So please, y'all, help me get the word out. I don't know what is wrong with the Connecticut Post. I don't know what is wrong with WICC or News 12. But I would wish to God that someone who knows those folks tell them that I am the same Cecil Young who started out with Frank Boris 15, 20 years, 30 years ago with News 12, helping to highlight things that goes on in our neighborhoods. I'm the one who started out with Sid Folsom from the Connecticut Post, Mike Daly, Linda Pinto, Mike Mako, all of those reporters that meant a whole lot and helped me get what I got today, which is framed to a point where I was able to help those of them that could not help themselves. Ran the biggest workfare program in the state of Connecticut. These are programs that are going to come back sooner or later, and if we're not ready for it, we talk about what we're going through with Trump doing now. You ain't seen nothing yet. Right now, the immigrants, and he's backing off of that now because he's seen that those white folks are not allowed, how he's treating them white folks as well as them other folks, and they're not going to put up with it any longer, and he's beginning to feel the heat from that, and he's responding to it. Now, who's next? Quiet as it kept? Those who are on welfare, those who are getting benefits. Your time is running out. The clock is ticking. And I watched this program last night from some city. About an hour and a half, I watched this program. All they were doing was riding around in this city and around that state, and all I seen was just blight, bandit buildings, boarded up storefronts, abandoned homes, wild weeds growing up all over the place. And all I see every now and then was a person of color walking up and down the street, looking like he's a lonely person. Then you go up under the viaduct, you see hundreds of people laying up under the viaduct, sleeping under the viaduct, under little tents. That's what's going to happen here if we don't get organized. If we don't think about how we're going to deal with President Trump's idea about if you work, you got it. If you get paid, you got to work. And if that's going to be the case, I say, here's what we can do. I can use 200 or 300 workfare guys to help me clean up the city. I can use 200 or 300 guys that can help others go to different daycare centers and other companies and help them help themselves and help their business flow and get better and do a whole lot of other things. Those are the things we need to be training our people ready to do, because believe me when I tell you, they're going to get cut off. And when they get cut off, you're talking about crime? You ain't seen no crime like you've been seeing crime like you did back in the 50s. But you're going to see it again because it's coming. The doors are getting closed on those of them that are collecting benefits because it's getting ready to be cut off. So let us not fall asleep at the steering wheel. May these churches turn into churches of knowledge, of information that will not inspire you to get excited about what God has done for them in that church and in their life, but get excited about what he needs to do about repairing us for the flood that's coming. Armageddon, the flood is coming, and if you're not repaired, we're going under. We're going under when we should be rising up and moving forward. Instead, we're going under because of what we've been put in a comatose state of mind, where we believe and know that them that taught us that in order to become anything successful in life, you have to have a degree. No, you don't have to have a degree. You have common sense. Have a willingness to want to do what got to be done to survive, and you can survive in America. America is one of the greatest places on earth. And all I say to you is give us an opportunity, give us the respect that you've given others, and you will find out that we will be your best blessing that you ever could receive. All you got to do is receive it instead of turning away from it. We're not here to hurt you. We're here to help you. So I say to the powers to be, black, white, Puerto Rican, Jew, what have you, help it be known that when Cecil's homegoing is coming, and I know it's coming, I don't want nobody to stand up over my body saying that Cecil Lottie died and everybody liked the way he used to party. I want my story to be told from Soundview Media and YouTube. Play my YouTube story showing that Cecil Young was not always about just me. It was always about we, our people. So I don't need nobody getting up over my body saying, well, he was this, he was that. No, I'm telling my own homegoing story. There will be no lot of speeches about he was. I don't want that. I want it to be shown that Cecil Young fought for righteousness. He fought for those of them that couldn't help themselves. And here's what he got persecuted during a month's time, a Black History Month's time, and not a person of color from any level, white or black, Jew, Puerto Rican, or what have you, have not come forward and said, let's look into what this brother is claiming, what he's accusing him of doing to him. Are we not in America? Are we in Ireland? Are we in Russia? Are we in a foreign country? I say no, we're in America, the United States of America. So I say to y'all, please again, don't look at me. Look at the 35 shows, and you will see the 35 or 40 shows on Soundview Media or YouTube, and download it 7 days a week, 24/7. You will be able to see that Cecil Caesar Young said what he said today, and he's been saying the same thing for the last 3 years. And the question is, you say you want to lock up those of them for absentee ballots? Huh? The girl that went to jail today for 2 years for absentee ballots? 2 years? Because of something she was programmed to do, because she got paid to do it. She wasn't no politician. She's not no seasonal political person. She was someone that was used, taken advantage of, and now she's going to jail for 2 years for what? Absentee ballots. And what are the rest of them going to do? Do the same thing? Put them in jail for what? When the ones who really taught them how to do what they do is the ones that should be looking at and dealing with, huh? They were doing the Pharaoh's bidding. They was trained. They were conditioned. And if you were getting what they were getting, what would you do when you're hungry, when you're lost, when you're confused? And let me also say something, too, for public TV. Thank God for public TV. If it wasn't for public TV helping me be able to get my points of view out to you on this station, I would have been on a corner someplace, hollering on a loudspeaker, yelling out and speaking out, and no one understanding other than the fact that that's a brother mad as hell, yelling out, screaming out. But what is it saying? And I'm glad that Soundview Media is a public station, that if you pay for your commercial, if you pay for the host, if you pay for it to be shown and be put out on the air, you will be able to get your message across so people can understand where you're coming from instead of on the corner yelling and screaming and hollering and disturbing people's business. I don't want to disturb nobody's business. I don't want to go out in front of nobody's business and yell and screaming and causing their customers to want to know what's going on. Scared to go in that store because of somebody yelling on a microphone. Thank God for Soundview Media. If it wasn't for Soundview Media, God only knows what I would have done. God only knows what I would have done if I didn't have this station to come to. And that's why I had no problem in paying for it every month for the last 3 years. I have no problem in paying for the producer of this show. He's not doing it because he wants to. He's doing it because he's getting paid as a job to him. And so it's not him who's doing it for me, because he wants to. He's doing it as a job, as he should do. And he's doing a hell of a job. And I love him for what he's done for me in terms of helping me to highlight my civil rights being violated. I've always said I would like my story to be told I would like to write a story about Cecil Young coming from nothing. And here I'm able to say, to this day, I became a city sheriff. I became superintendent of a public housing project I grew up in. I became a town committee member. I became a community activist. I ran for mayor of the city of Bridgeport in 1977. Whoever thought a person being put in a closet in the courtroom, in the principal's office, 24/7, going from the first grade to the third grade to the fifth grade to the seventh grade to the ninth grade. We made a deal at 16. You either comply or get out. I said, Mama, let me out. Let me out. And before she left this world, she knew that Cecil Young, when he got out of that school, he worked every day until the day that she passed. And I continue to work because she taught me the value of taking advantage of an opportunity she gave me to let her know that I will not defeat her goal and allow me to do what I asked her to let me do because I was not making it in this school. So I want to thank y'all for listening to the Cecil Young Show. And again, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, it was never about me. It was always about we. Thank you much for listening to the Cecil Young Show. And don't forget, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, around the clock, tune me in. Download me on YouTube or SoundView. And you can't lose the stuff I use if you use it. And you know I need to use it. And you need to do it too as well. Thank you and have a good day.